Stingray, Band-Aid, Pony. You're at the Whitfield Farms, or at least the last bit of the Whitfield Farms. This side of the freeway that you're on, which is the western side of the freeway, seems to have avoided at least some of the fire's wrath at this stage. And whether it be through sheer luck or divine blessing, you see that several cottages are still standing as you enter into the agricultural fields north of Jefferson City. As you approach, you see that there are several people staring across the river, trying to get a glimpse of anything that could be happening over there. What do you want to do?
So, just to get a better idea, you said what's left of Whitfield?
If you were to look to the east of the freeway, you would see blackened, scorched earth going all the way up into the foothills. But if you were to go to the west of the freeway, again, where all the cars are still lined up in some ruined ant trail of dead cars, you would see untouched land as far as the fire goes.
So the fire didn't leap the freeway to where we are?
And if it did, it barely made much more than several dozen.
So we see some of these cottages. So basically, I'm just checking in with you guys. Basically, our idea is to check in with them, see if we can get any information on what's going on in Jefferson, and barter, hopefully, to be able to get our way in.
Well, and if they've been watching carefully, they may have a pretty solid idea of what it is that's been going on.
Do you want to take point on communicating with them?
Absolutely.
Hail and well met.
You move forward and you see that there is a woman who is currently turning over weeds inside of her plot of land that's pretty close to where her cottage is. And she goes and looks up and says, I didn't expect anybody up from north anytime here soon. Who are you, young lady?
My name's Pony. I came down from the farm. They managed to avoid the fires and...
Oh, good. I was hoping Gary would avoid that atrocity.
They did us so much kindness. We wanted to reach out to them, to you, on their behalf.
Yeah, we were the lucky ones. Us on this side of the freeway. I feel sorry for all of the others that are on the other side. The Stuyvesants, the Mathesons, the Petersons. They've all lost their farm, and they've all lost their lands. They're talking about going back into the city, and we're trying to convince them not to. Anyway, what news do you bring?
They're hard hit up there. The fires went wide. And there's something more to be concerned about. Up from the water, up from the wells, there's a disturbance.
What kind of disturbance? Please, be more specific.
The kind that comes with webbed hands.
The Chenoo.
Oh, the Chenoo. We haven't seen any river runners in like a decade.
We suspect that the fire drove them into the wells.
Oh, my.
We wanted to come and let you know that you should be on alert.
All
Be
right.
aware, keep your eyes open. We wanted to make sure that all the farmers in the area are well protected and bring good news of those who have survived.
Thank you, young lady.
Not only that, there's something else. There's a new type of Chenoo. They ride horses and they hunt with spears.
The Namurna?
Yes.
I saw just a little while ago. They tend to be north of here. I thought I would never see them, honestly. I've only heard tales of them from our expeditionary scouts.
We saw two following a herd of buffalo. Keep your eyes open.
What did they not have walls?
You mentioned before you advised people not to go into the city. Is there a reason for that?
Civil war, young lad. Yes.
Not cannibalism?
It's such a shame that people only know us for those few ritualistic barbarians who feel that the flesh of others consume their power. Back when Chateau was our guru, there was no talk of eating other men. No, it was just live and let live, as they say. Don't bother the Chenoo, and hopefully they won't bother you. We still give tithes, and Caemon can do nothing to us. We provide most of the food that's provided to all the outlying districts. They can't touch us. But I fear that times will be harder now that the fields have burnt.
Have you been in recently to offer tithes in the last Few days, few weeks.
No, it's been weeks since we've been into the city. Now, we don't try to go in there as little as possible. I have friends inside the community center who I choose to visit, and I do miss them, but no, it's just not worth it nowadays.
This civil war, when did it happen?
We've heard tales of folk who've come across the road, and they have said that, well, the rumor is that Kaimon has been killed.
Kaimon is the leader?
Kaimon is the successor of Chateau, who exiled him years ago and brought him up into the northern lands.
Did the cannibalism start with Kaimon?
Yes, it was. I don't know much myself. All I know is that the people who have come across in our fields are much more vast and lush than they were. People just don't like being in the city much anymore.
Do you have any idea how this civil war started? Or who?
No, unfortunately. I assume some other warlord has attempted to bring Kaimon down and is taking his place. God knows what we're going to see once they've risen into power.
Who has that sort of information? Is there anyone we can talk to?
I would assume anyone inside of the city. I mean, look over there yourself now. You can see it's a bustle of activity.
I mean, anyone who may have brought that information here, anyone on this side of the road we can speak to.
Actually, now that you mention it, yes. About 3 days ago, a young lady came over the bridge. A waifish young lass. She seemed nigh ready to collapse. So tired and so malnourished is she. She's been resting in our cottage this entire time. Poor thing. She's maybe 18, 19. If you want, you can ask her questions if she's awake.
Please.
Thank you.
Watch as she kind of hobbles with her cane as she's picked up her tilling hoe and is starting to kind of walk back into the small, modest log cabin. You walk in and see that the dirt floor has been well maintained, and there's a couple of thatched rugs that exist in different places, like in front of where the kitchen is, and you see a small, crudely made, but still fairly new potbelly stove with 3 feet as it stands on side of the area. And that's probably the most impressive piece of furniture that's inside of this thing. On a cot on the far end of the door of which you came out, you can see a young lady who is laid out on the bed with a sheet pulled up to her, and she seems to just be shivering, even though it's a muggy 80, 85 degrees out at the moment. She goes, Tina dear, Tina, are you awake? Here's Tina, kind of shuddering, goes, hard to sleep when it hurts all over. Tina dear, you have visitors. You don't have to sit up, but let me get you some tea. And you watch as the old woman goes over and starts putting together a small ironwork pot as she stokes the fire a little bit. Go on now.
Tina, I'd like to ask you what you've seen, what you know.
The city. Oh, it's awful. God, I should be dead. I should have died 5 times.
I'm so glad that you're not.
Yeah. Although I should be doing something. I can't believe I'm still stuck here. I thought I was strong enough. I thought I was able to pull myself up. And she tries to pull herself up for a second.
Rest.
We all.
I thought I could make it over, but I just collapsed.
Where were you trying to make it to, Tina? Make it over where?
Oh, some barn. The people who killed Kaimon, he told me that there was some people in a barn they were waiting for. I didn't make it before the fire.
The people, what did they look like? What were their names? Anything, please.
She looks over to you for the first time, kind of sees you and sees both of you and goes, now that you mention it, you two fit the description pretty good. Yeah. Oh my God, are you okay?
Oh, we're fine. Thank you so much.
mostly.
We're fine. Tell us more. Are they okay? Where are they? What's...
No, Chateau came back. He came with outsiders, And they freed us, all of us at River Run. They said they were going to go kill Kaimon. I vaguely remember them, some man in a plaid shirt with a long beard and long hair. A young woman with a blue stripe under her and ribbons, beautiful ribbons in her hair. And some dark gray-haired man, lanky.
Little scary.
They were with Chato. Yeah. And they let us all out.
Rest.
Hey. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Do you think they really killed him?
I think so.
If anybody could have done it, it was them.
You've accomplished your mission. You did what you set out to do.
Oh, thank Great
Fate
Spirit.
put you in the right place.
Oh my God.
At the right time.
Oh my.
Rest.
I'm so happy.
Heal, recover.
And you watch as the old woman has now brought a little pot of tea with her, and she's pouring it into there, and she's blowing on it. She's been blowing on it. She's been hearing the story. At this time, you can see kind of tears are starting to form in her face. It's just this young lady who's been through so much is essentially just letting the emotional release. She's clearly been holding on to this for so long, and now that it has been resolved and it is there, she just, even before she has a chance to drink the tea, she just falls into a very peaceful sleep.
These are your people.
These are our people.
This is
alive.
who we are seeking.
This is your team. And if they took down Kaimon, you know how viable they are. These are our people. These are the people you need, and these are the people we have to find.
We have to find them.
We have
to
go.
go to them.
But, okay, I understand. I hear you. There's a civil war happening. We don't know the extent of the situation. We have barely any information. I agree. I'm so happy to hear that they're all alive.
Madam, do you still have any kind of active trade connection with the city? Is there any way that we can go into the city as traders for you safely?
I am not too sure exactly what the state of the community center is, but the villa is where you would want to go if you go and meet the Govman, as he likes to be called. He is essentially the social hub of most of Osage. Yeah, if there's one thing the community is built upon, it is trade and barter. So even if anybody stops you along the way, if you say you have wares to trade, then they'll most likely let you in. I do know the one thing that they've been wary of is any UA folk who might be coming in from the west. That's why they built the gate, you see, knowing one day they would come.
Yeah, we don't have to worry so much about us being that.
All right. As you're about to gather yourselves to leave, you see that Tina's been clutching onto something colorful inside of her hand. And now that she has found a relaxed sleep, you watch as she opens it up. And you see a colored dinosaur clutched into her fist, but now is open in a relaxed state.
Oh, that crazy motherfucker. I grab it. Let's get this back to him.
Okay.
Here you go.
This seems to mean something to you.
It means something to someone.
This is authenticity. It's really them.
We need to go. We need to go fast and we need to go hard. If there's a civil war, we need to get our people and get them out.
Agreed.
So you run out of the cottage and you hop on your horses.
So as we go to mount the horses, I turn and I say to them, if there's madness, if there's trouble, I want you as safe as possible. You will mount Justice together. He'll listen to me. He'll follow my commands. I'll take the paint.
When it comes to the horses, you're the boss.
Okay.
God knows I didn't do well last time.
So I mount them on my horse so there's as much control for them as possible.
Right.
And I mount the paint as we get ready to head out of town.
All right. So as you start to ride across the freeway, crossing the Missouri, you can hear the sounds of gunshots as the crack, almost like fireworks. But again, you
No idea what's
haven't heard fireworks in decades. If it's this sound, it's gunfire. And you can hear it as it's kind of sprinkling itself across parts of the side of the river.
Like fools of fate at high speed right toward the sounds of danger.
You haven't met us.
It took 10 years to push them back, but we did. What was once a prosperous river trade, the Mississippi, is now the front line. The eastern states supply the river states, and what's left of the UA live out their meager days self-policing. What is the West hiding? Nobody really knows for sure. But we're alive. And this is the new frontier.
Look at all these survivors at a table.
Press it yet.
Yes, it is awesome. You are all at the same table, which I think we all means something exciting is coming. There is a moment in which stories are congregating and will soon smash into each other like a tide against the rocks. But for the moment, you are still not quite reunited. When we last left the story, Jenny, you had heard a gunshot ring out as you felt, more than hear, a bullet whiz right by you as it strikes the marble right behind you, and you watch as like a shatter of dust and powder just lays out behind you. And you do what?
Wraith!
Yeah.
They're here. They're alive. Ray and Band-Aid, they're alive.
Where?
They're on horseback on the freeway, headed this way. You need to go. Go.
Yes. We need a distraction. They'll kill him.
No, Jenny runs to, just like sprints to Kamon storage.
So as you come down into the main building, I thought you were running across the platform.
No,
leading
that would have
into
been cool,
the building.
but...
Yeah.
No, she did say she goes swings
And
in the
dangerous.
Right. As you basically run into the inside of the building and you're
Yeah.
calling out to Wraith, you feel a warm trickle of blood come down the side of your face as you reach up and see that your hand has blood on it from a cut that has literally grazed, and you look to see that actually like hair has fallen onto the bottom of your shoulder. You got a haircut, girl.
It went all the way around.
Shut up the pony.
Well, you can imagine one side of it is all gone now at
That's
this
one
point.
way to do it.
Yeah, seriously.
Dude, it was a 91. It was like, yeah. You run down and you're heading straight for the armory. What are you looking for?
I am looking for that propane tank. So,
I said it was a propane tank.
yes, you did. You did. I remember
say there was a
thinking,
propane
yes, you said there was a propane tank.
Use the survival points.
Okay, yeah.
All right. So,
Meanwhile, I'm running to the back, like
Yeah.
the place where we came in, and I'm scanning to see if there's anybody covering.
the northern side.
The back. If they're gonna try to cause a distraction at the front, I'm running towards the back, but I'm checking to make sure. And
Oh, that the back is not surrounded as well,
yeah,
too.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there's people in the back. You can actually see as some of the army has started to move around and has come around to the side of the palace as well too, and they're starting to filter in the back.
How many, roughly?
10.
Okay. Yeah. If I tried to get out of that window, they would most definitely see me, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. If you still have the grappling hook, though, and you purchased with your last 2 survival points, for the record, we are still sitting at 90 bogeys, and you're sitting at 22 risk at the moment. So you spending those last 2 in order to get that propane tank, which will net you at 0 at the moment.
Okay.
Okay.
When I see her come back, I just look at him like, I understand. And I just point at 2 guys and I'm like, you 2, when on her mark, throw it at them. The guys that are insurging down below.
Right. So let me take a minute to really give you a strong picture of what this building is, because I feel like I underrepresented it a little bit when we were first starting this siege. This building is a giant, beautiful government building. The bronze doors that are in the front of it stand 13 feet tall, and they will have a hard time being moved even without being latched down. It's 17 years in disrepair, so a lot of its infrastructure as far as the columns in the front have been broken, and it look a lot like the Roman Colosseum as far as dilapidated pillars and things go. The steps that have led up to the building have been cracked and broken, and especially after the pipe bomb has gone off. It just craters now kind of exist as part of this massive steps leading up. Jenny, when you were first on top, I didn't get the chance to really describe to you, but you would have been standing close to a large monument of Thomas Jefferson himself that would have been maybe broken and crumbled over the years over wear and tear, but would have been replaced potentially with a visage of Kamon right there, redone with plaster and with putty. That being said, we have a propane tank now.
I'm gonna go pee on that later. But there are, even though the pipe bomb went off and they're moving around, there's still a mass of men down below.
There's a mass
right?
of men who are still attempting to move the door open after getting to the bronze doors and not being able to push it open. There is still a group of people who have gotten under the overhang to where the shooters would have a good beat on them, and now it essentially found cover underneath the overhang that's right in front of the door of this building. Does that make sense?
Yeah, there's like a colonnade in the front, and they've made it up into that.
Into the colonnade.
But do we still see a good mass of men to throw a propane tank into?
It would be difficult. You'd have to look under the colonnade to really see them in a good way.
Or we'd have to open the doors.
Or you'd have to open the doors.
What about the back to let you get away? I don't know. There's only 10 over there. Eh.
Yeah. You could let them get partway through the doors.
The front door?
Yeah, and then set that off.
Honestly, we should probably prop the propane tank like near the doors now.
Okay.
So if they have something
Yeah.
we haven't expected and the doors come off the hinges, clack, clack, blammo.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wraith.
Yeah, I'm looking out of the windows to the back, like sneaking peeks and, just waiting. And I'm super frustrated that these people are in between me and where I need to be.
Make a dodge check.
Okay. I got how many degrees of success? I got 3 degrees of success.
Okay. So what you're gonna do is, as you're kind of peeking around the corner, you do hear gunfire. As you feel more than anything just the spray of powder and dust. They are trying to take advantage of their poor visibility and just kind of firing up into the balcony at this moment. They did not hit you, or they saw you, took a shot at you, and you have better cover than that.
Okay. I'm flattening myself and crawling along the ground so I'm completely hidden from them and making my way over to another window.
Do I see him like crawling around?
Depends on where you are.
Well, I was up shooting. She came, she's like, we need to do this. I guess honestly I would have ordered some guys to take the propane tank.
Which you did.
So I'm probably still kind
Now
of
you
near
have
the
guys
windows.
manning the propane tank.
Yeah. Like now, yeah.
So you go up to where Wraith is at the back of the government, like
carefully.
literally the government office,
Right.
And to where the back patio would be towards the back of the building. It takes a few minutes to get there. This is not a small place, so running from one side of the building to another, even hoofing it, is going to take a few minutes to get from place to place. As you three are held up, pinned down in this government building, and men are now inside the colonnade, and men are pinned behind you on the outside gardens. You three, Band-Aid, Stingray, Pony, you are riding through across the freeway, and you suddenly come across cleared freeway. There are no cars, and an open yet broken road lays out in front of you as you look to your left and see a parking lot with lampposts. It's been turned into an agricultural small plot of land in which food is being grown. And you see a large 4-story government building, which, if you had been local to the area, would have known as the old IRS building. It has a weird, almost ziggurat kind of shape as it's tiered level up. And it is covered in mosses and grains, and you can actually see some parts of it have been decorated and painted. And it's a striking image that seems to overlook this plot of land. Literally right to your left.
I'm getting my AK a little more ready because I don't feel comfortable with there being all of a sudden this much open space.
It's a lot of open space, yeah. And your horses, as literally the shoes are hitting onto the concrete, it's echoing like.
And all this time we're hearing gunfire.
You hear little spurts of it every once in a while, but not like a continuous firing, not like a war zone.
Gotcha. Can we tell what direction that firing is coming from?
Yeah, make a spot listen. It's really hard, unfortunately. Gunshots don't tend to translate very well about exact precision directions.
I got 2 success.
3 failure.
She's a gunslinger, she would know, yeah.
All right, at this point it would be about 2 successes, 3 failure.
It's coming from everywhere.
Stingray, you having a little more training in the sounds of gunfire, you can't exactly pinpoint where it is, but you can definitely tell it's southeast.
Got it.
So in the direction of this grand building.
Right.
In the direction of the grand building, yes. As you kind of come into the open clearing of where this freeway is, you come across the rail line, and you can see that you're in a district of town where there's a couple of small bungalow-sized shops that have been set up but recently abandoned, and ruins of old buildings, and you can actually see the rail driver just plowed straight into a bus as it's been lifted up and basically tilted up on its front wheels. It hasn't made it.
So irresponsible with our resources.
Yeah, it didn't make it very far. You're about 500 feet-ish or so from where it is.
As we pull up, I see that to the left of us, and I hold my hand out to Pony and I say, well, that's it. That's what's left of the rail driver.
That's all that's left.
If we can find Jenny, I bet she can get it working, but we gotta make sure she's safe first.
We can fix it.
She can fix it.
Doesn't sound like anyone is safe here, so if we've got to find someone, we should find them now.
Agree.
So how and where would you like to go?
I feel like we should get off these horses and get to somewhere where there's a little more cover.
How do you park these things? Like, do we just leave them, or?
I do a whistle call to Justice for him to pull up and stop for him to dismount.
Right. Yeah. With Justice comes and obediently much more anxious to have you ride it than these two. So it comes up and you dismount off the Painted.
That's what you want to do? You want to move into town on foot?
I feel like we're safer in being able to get covered than with these guys.
We kind of stick out on horses.
You know the city better than I do. I'll follow your lead on this one.
It's a little bit the blind leading the blind, but I just feel like on them. They're big, they're loud.
They're fast.
They're fast, but we gotta
blend in at this time. Especially if there's civil war going on. We're just painting targets on our backs.
I don't like it. I reluctantly dismount, and then I take a piece of my rope.
Yeah.
And I
tie them together.
And I tie the two of them together, and then I smack Justice and send him away.
Oh, too late.
Bye.
Okay.
I'm not letting him stay in the city.
Okay.
While this is happening.
I was gonna say maybe we take Justice and leave it Painted, but that's cool.
All
The
right.
paint will run away without us.
So Justice runs off south along the cleared freeway
Interesting.
as it heads down deeper into town.
We need to infiltrate ourselves within the populace, whoever's left in the city that looks non-cannibalistic, and try to find out where the rebels are holding up, or whichever side we find, we side with them until we get to where we need to go.
Fair point. Maybe we shouldn't have let go of those horses.
I think that was a good call. We can't roll up with horses. We need to act like people from the city.
So if you want to get to where the giant painted ziggurat is, you'd have to go through the gardens along the road or through the gardens, essentially where you are, after going through a little bit of the scavenged and ruined buildings.
Are there people around?
Not that you can tell, not in this part of the cleared freeway.
Okay.
That's why I'm a little concerned. If
Yeah.
there's no one around here, I
We
don't
need
trust
to find
it.
people.
You do see to your right, and I should probably make this very clear, you do see a large burgeoning estate with a water tower, and it seems to have a fence that is held off into it. You see it's a simple fence. It's not like a fully guarded fence.
There's no activity around there either.
It's hard to see over the sheet metal from where your vantage point is.
Okay, we have what I see is basically two options. We can either go explore the ziggurat, or we go over to this sheet metal enforced place.
I just have a feeling that our people are wherever those gunshots are, and I'm not happy about it.
So do we go toward where we think our people are, or do we go toward where we can see? How
Ooh, that's a
confident
tough
are you in
choice.
their skills?
Oh,
All right.
let's at least get under.
Maybe this will help your decision
Oh
a
no,
little bit.
oh no, something just happened because we were talking
Since
too
you
much.
guys are talking, you start to hear the sounds of revving small engines.
Shit.
As you look down the cleared freeway, you can see, not coming straight towards you, but coming along Route 54 as they're coming up across the freeway, you can see dirt bikes with men on the back of them.
Coming towards the city?
Coming
Coming
up from the
the city.
south, up into the north. Right now, they're coming towards you, but they seem to be veering more towards where the gunshots came from.
I don't trust men on bikes.
After what we experienced, neither do I. The two dudes on the bike before were followers of this came on
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
As they're coming up from the south, you see they're veering towards the right in the general direction of where that ziggurat.
Let's go to the other one. Whatever one they're not going to.
Okay. All right.
Let's do it.
Yes?
At least we can fire. At least we can talk. Maybe we can talk and get some information.
All right.
I don't understand why we've come to this city if we haven't come to find the people.
We
That's
have
what we're
come to
looking
find
for.
them, but if we don't know where they are and we walk into a battlefield, what are the chances of us finding them? I want to find them more than you do, believe me.
All right.
All right. As you make a turn to the right and you see the sheet metal doors in front of you, you watch as this tower is kind of looming as you look towards the estates, and you can see that the doors have been shut. And you go to it and see that it is pretty much closed. The gates are visibly closed.
Can we do a spot listen for activity?
In there?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Zero degrees of failure.
1.
2 degrees of failure.
Band-Aid, as you get
push
close.
my ear up against
yeah, you
it.
push your ear up against it. As you push your ear up against it, you can hear very faintly somebody whispering on the back. They're trying very hard to be discreet. They're trying very hard not to say anything, but it sounds like there's an argued whisper going on behind the grate.
Can I tell anything what they're saying? Any words whatsoever?
No words.
Okay. There are two people arguing on the other side. They're whispering.
Maybe they know we're here.
It doesn't sound like it. It sounds like it's an internal struggle.
You want people and you want information. Either we leave this place now or we get information from these people.
Do you want to knock on the door?
Let's call out that we're traitors.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll start. Boom, 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 boom.
Oh, God! Oh! Jim, go. Look. There's someone at the gate. You hear his man climb up, and you hear a bowstring is pulled back as you look down and see a man in tattered cloth that's been patchworked together. As he pulls up, you see that he's wearing a simple helmet.
Okay.
As he's holding onto it, he's pulling the bow back and looking and goes, "Who are you? What are you looking for?"
We're friendly.
We've come from the fields. The fires affected our farms. We came to trade for some
There's no
small
water
goods.
trading today. No water trading today. Come back. Come back later.
What's going on? Can you tell us? Nobody can tell us
They
anything.
look over to the singer and goes, "Can't you see?
We can't
They're
see
fighting.
anything.
They're trying to storm the palace. Chato is held up inside of Kaymon's palace, and Summerfield's after them. No trading until we've resolved what's going on over there. This is not our fight.
Can we help in any way? We have nowhere to go at the
Depends on
moment.
whose side you're on. What, are you with Kalarm and Summerfield?
We're on the side of farmers. We're on the side of food.
He lets the bowstring down a little bit. I don't know who you are, and I don't know why you're coming in during this war, but if I were you, I would get the hell out of the city right now.
The fields are burned. There's nothing left.
I'm sorry. I know. I don't know where the fires came from. For all I know, Kaymon's people burnt that. Over there is war. If you want to survive, you will get out of the city.
Where is Chato?
Probably in Kaymon's palace. That's where I've been hearing the gunshots from, and everyone left from the villa and is now held up inside of the building.
Which building? What is that?
He doesn't even acknowledge the fact that you didn't even know. It's the most, standout building in the city. But he points to the Parliament building, the giant kind of mansion that's there. Right on the other side of the Osage Villa.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We wish you great safety in this trying time.
Just get out of here. Go!
Okay.
Okay, we go.
As you're leaving, he's like, "You're not going over there, are you?" As he walks, you walk towards that direction.
I'm hungry. So I'm just gonna leave.
Okay, yes. All right.
Yeah.
Let's go back to our friends at the palace. Jenny, as you've run across and you're now inside of the building, you hear the shouts of somebody up on your upper balconies where the doors one goes, "Bikes! Bikes! Bikes are coming!" And you can start to hear the small revving of engines.
I just yell out, "Open fire!"
Yeah, I was gonna say I want to run up there and try and get one of them
Okay.
before they get under
Back
cover.
up on the platform in the door or up where the
window. I wouldn't go
windows
back
are.
up on the roof.
window.
Yeah,
Okay.
they apparently they have a sniper too. So.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
right now they're under cover.
No,
by
but
the
somebody
door.
shot at you when you swung inside. Somebody had a
probably
clear,
Manipal on top
clear
of it.
view over
Son of a
that.
bitch. Okay, cool. Yeah,
So-
I'm just gonna try
You're
and
gonna shoot from the inside?
yeah, I'm gonna be from the inside.
Like I lean at windows.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
Shooting. 5 difficulty dice for a moving target.
Okay. Oh,
Especially with that scoped rifle.
Okay.
I'm shooting also, so it's a 5 for me.
Oh yeah, man.
Okay.
These
bikes?
things are moving fast.
Let's do this.
Wraith?
Yeah, let's go.
I'm setting up one of the grappling hook with the rope. I'm not poking my head up above the window or whatever,
Right.
but I'm making sure it's anchored.
Yeah.
And I'm prepping my climbing gear.
Great.
So that if I need to, once my moment comes,
You're down.
I can jump out the window and just rappel down and hide behind a column. You know.
Okay.
If that, I'm not saying that's what I'm gonna do. I'm
Right.
saying I'm ready for that moment should it happen.
Yeah.
So
That's 2 degrees of failure. Yeah.
So,
I trip on the staircase as I'm running up to a window.
All right, and you discharge a shot, and you basically waste a bullet
Damn it.
without even realizing that you pulled down. You're lucky
one
you didn't hit
motorcycle
anybody.
or two?
Two.
So I had a push.
Okay.
So no degrees of success or failure.
Got it.
But I'm going to spend 2 competence.
So you're 2 competence for this session. All right.
I'm going to spend 1 competence to ice this dude.
All right. Roll 2 dice.
All right. Well, I'd rolled 1 with my pool already here.
Okay.
9, 12.
All right. You knock him off the bike as you basically are lining this thing up. One of the guys who had an assault rifle on the back of this thing, he just is knocked off of the bike as it swerves, fishtails a little bit, but manages to maintain its speed and its trajectory as it starts barreling around the back of Kamon's palace.
So I knocked the rider off, or I knocked the gunman off?
You knock the gunman off. Let's roll your militia and see how they do, essentially, against the crew.
I order all of them back from the propane, so they can be in that atrium, that sweeping atrium, but kind of like back on that next tier up the steps, like in the columns. So if the doors get breached, somebody's going to shoot the propane, and then they got to come through.
Okay.
So my people aren't at the door; they're back from the door.
Jenny, you're rolling.
I'll do it. Fuck!
You know, I think you're done rolling for the militia.
Yeah, don't let me roll anymore for the militia. Oh my god, 94.
All right. All right.
Yeah, I'll handle that from here on out.
Yeah, you know what?
No, I don't want to know what.
You hear shooting, and you again are hearing return fire, and one of your team members runs up and grabs a hold of you, Chato, and grabs him and goes, Chato, we have nothing left. We've spent everything that we have. What are we going to do?
Divide yourselves equally among the entrances on the bottom floor.
All right.
Prepare for hand-to-hand combat.
All right, sir. And you watch as he splits off, and he relates the orders to the other members of Osage. All right, back to our team.
Thank you. Oh, put me in, coach. Okay, so we know where they are. We know
gone
where
over
they are.
there.
We gotta go.
Yep.
We're going.
Heading right
We're
to the
going. We're
government
heading
building.
right to the
Looking for it?
government
You're running?
building.
Running towards the government
Yeah,
building?
yeah.
And we know that they're inside,
As well as we can run without opening wounds and without like we're not running full tilt.
Right.
If only you had a horse.
You're doubling up.
It's
Yeah,
fine.
for a
No,
horse.
yeah,
You're just
don't.
double timing it
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
as
yeah,
much
yeah,
as
yeah.
you can.
And
Okay.
staying and clearing corners and keeping eyes out and being aware and all of that good shit.
we know that
this-
the people outside the building are the people that are the threat to us. So we
Yeah,
keep an eye out
because
for them.
we know that our people are inside that building. We heard it from the duder with the helmet.
So you run through, run double time it back along the side of the gardens as you start making blocks as you move towards the palace. The government building is right in front of you, and it's basically one street all the way down. So you can kind of already see the building as it's slowly getting closer. The gardens alongside of you, as I described earlier, have tall corn stalks, and the river is alongside of you. The streets are empty. Occasionally you'll see a person, but it's still so sparse. And you get closer to the palace, and you can see a siege.
I call out to the team, Ho! Everyone on Kamon's team is running toward this building. Is there anything about them that we can use to disguise ourselves as if we are one of them?
The necklace.
Yes, we do. I have a sigil and pull it out of my pocket. I have one of these pieces of crap.
And swagger.
So I say, we move as if we belong here. We move as if we are coming toward the building, as if that is what we want to attack.
We can help. We can give them a message. Since we have this, it must have been like a high-ranking person that was wearing this. We can give them an order. We came from
The duder that they were working for.
Montauk?
No. Kalarm, the boss. That was. Remember how they said
And we
if
can-
Kalarm hears of this, then we'll all be killed. We have to set everything on fire. Those guys.
So we can tell them that there's an order from Kalarm to stand down to this building and go somewhere else.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's enter like we mean it, like we're emissaries of this
Kalarm.
So, as you are all approaching to this area,
Put the necklace on.
you see several men are basically hiding behind various trees, fruit trees, as you can see most of them, the ones that have guns, are basically looking up to the top of the overhang that is on the back of the government building. And you can see that they haven't shot anything, but they're just standing there waiting. A lot of them have hidden behind bushes, the ones that have the simple weaponry, and just seem to be biding their time waiting.
Okay.
They notice you as you come up, and you watch as 3 of them turn around and point their guns right at you. Go, stop!
I come from Kalarm.
What news?
The Chinoo.
The Chinoo?
They're back. They're hunting us. We need to regroup.
Why would the Chinoo come to harm us?
There's been a fire. There's been a fire north of the river. They're in the groundwater and they're coming through the tunnels.
Not
they're
only
coming
that,
through
they're on horseback with spears. They're hunting.
The Chinoo will not harm Kalarm and the followers of Kaimon. We are protected by them.
We are protected when we are together. Right now, we are separate.
All right. Persuade.
Cool,
Both of us or both of us?
You're basically convincing them that their ultimate creed of being protected by the Chinoo by following Kaimon is in jeopardy.
You're shaking their worldview.
You're shaking their world a little bit, so this is going to be tough.
Do I roll on this one?
You didn't talk.
I didn't.
Wait, what was the?
I did not.
No. It's not
Remember
good.
confident.
Which one are we doing?
We're doing
Persuade. Okay, I have 1 degree of failure, but I also have 2 competency points, so I buy that back to make it a wash.
Remember, you
I
can
do-
roll for risk.
That'd actually give you a net 1 if you
A
spend
net of
both.
1.
Are you going to spend both? Or are you
net
just
of-
going to spend 1 to make it
A net 1.
Yeah, you're about to get
Do
murdered
that.
if you don't.
Okay,
so
so
I
that's
suggest you spend it. Yes.
2, right?
Yes.
Yeah, she's spending both 2s. Okay, so you have 1.
I also am spending 2 competency points. I mean, bluffing and persuading is kind of my thing, but
Not today.
Not today.
Right. So you have a 1 and a 1. You've both been making this argument. They seem entirely unconvinced at this moment. They haven't fired on you openly yet and goes, why would the Chinoo attack us? The Chinoo, we are protected from them because Kalarm and everyone. Where are you from? Who are you really?
We've come down from the farm. We've come down because the fire drove us this way. The fire took all of the creatures from the forests, and obviously the Chinoo, deep into hiding. They ran whenever they could, wherever they could. There were bison running over the hills. The world is upside down right now. You have to believe us.
They're hunting the bison again. Good. Well, no matter. Right now, we have a siege among us. And presently, if you're not in there, then I would do best to make your way out. In case we think that maybe you're with them.
And what would Kalarm say? What will Kalarm say to us when we come back and tell him you didn't obey his orders?
He'll kill us.
Well then, that's your problem. And if he comes to me, and I die by his hand, it will be glorious.
What is your name?
Paro.
Paro, we stand with you. What would it serve us to leave this fight and go back to Kalarm when we can move forward with you toward this fight?
The place is impenetrable. They've locked the whole place up. We can't even see it, and there's one of them standing up there.
More reason that we should stand with you and fight against them.
Oh, if you are here to fight, then go up and fight. Show that you are loyal to Kalarm, and ride up there and kill the disbelievers.
Kill the disbelievers.
Kill the disbelievers.
I'll start walking up.
All right, and forward we go. We've gone.
I love to eat people.
Stop talking.
Sorry.
So now we've moved forward from these 8 dudes who are behind the trees.
Yeah, you crossed over their threshold, and you are now walking towards the government building, and all of their guns are trained on you at the moment, as well as up at that top level.
Well, they can't all be trained on us and the top level.
Well,
Yes,
there
exactly.
is 10 men.
Yeah.
I would say at least 3 to 5 have guns. Yes, so you're right. They can't all be at you all at the same time.
Okay, so
Yes.
in that case, I bring my rifle up and I also train it on the top level to try to give them the impression that we are on the same target as they are. So as we move forward,
Spotless and Wraith.
Well, I was going to do something.
But you need to know what's happening.
Yeah, well, I wanted to pull like a small mirror out of my kit and
okay.
like look up. You know.
Well, that would help you with your spot listen quite a bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would that be just like recon gear?
Yeah,
Canyon Valley?
absolutely. You can totally use gear bonus on something like that.
Okay, so that's 0 degrees of failure.
You're having, because it's a small piece of glass.
Yeah.
You know, you can't get a wide breadth of everything. You're basically just searching around.
Yeah, I'm just turning it
and
up
you're
and
looking
looking.
at to see kind of what's around, and you do see men who have been hidden by, and you do see some movement of somebody walking towards you, but you don't get a real beat on who they are.
Okay.
So that is the information that you know, but I
Yeah.
think we can still stay with the 3 here at the moment.
Yeah.
So you certainly,
So we see them trained on us.
yeah, she's got her rifle pinned
Your
at
rifle
the
is
top.
pinned at the top. Do we see anything up there? We see nothing.
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
He is, as you mentioned, flat on the ground.
Yeah, I'm below the level of the thing, so I mean, there might maybe
And
there.
your vantage point is terrible from where you are.
Walking up though, do we see the people that are in front of the door? Are they still trying
You're
to...
on the back of the building.
Oh, okay.
So my intention with aiming toward the top is that I can keep my eyes on whomever is ahead of us on the ground because they are our immediate threat. While I'm distracting the people behind us, thinking that we're pointing.
So
this
that
way.
would mean that you would have to be behind the people who are currently in the column. You have at least a dozen or more men who are currently through the colonnade at the front bronze doors of the Capitol building.
Bad guys.
Bad guys.
People.
Who are presently cannot be seen by a window vantage point unless you're literally sticking your head out and looking directly underneath the building.
Can they be seen from a ground vantage point?
Yes, they can be seen from a ground vantage point.
But we're on the other side.
Around the other side.
Yeah.
Right now, we have our 3 inside, Chato, Jenny, and Wraith. Wraith is in the back of the building, currently on a balcony that is being overlooked by 10 men who are in a tree line and have basically created a 50-foot kill zone in which they are using their tree coverage in order to keep a beat on the balcony in front of them. That is presently where Stingray, Band-Aid, and Pony are, who have come along the back of the Capitol building and have encountered Paro, who, unconvinced of your loyalty, has essentially commanded you to make an assault on the palace to show that you are truly loyal to Kalarm.
On we go.
Go!
I turn to Paro and I say, fine, you want us to prove our loyalty to Kalarm? You want us to prove our loyalty to Kaimon?
You speak to me like you have something to prove.
I need cover if you want me to run in there.
We will be here. Make a spot listen check real quick.
Everyone?
Just her.
Stay up! Awesome. That's 3 degrees of success.
Yeah.
Bam.
All right. As you're turning, and he motions ahead in front of you, as you turn your back to kind of join your crew, walking forward, you distinctly hear him whisper to someone right next to him, "They do anything, shoot them."
I turn around and I say, you do anything, I shoot you.
Okay. All right. If you're going to say that to him, he's going to fire on you.
Fine.
No!